for that notification. Maybe it's coming. There it is. Oh hey, you can actually hear me over that. Cool. So hello everybody. Welcome to my room, first of all. It's the first stream with video since I've been back home. Welcome to Drowning. Now, I know it says continue, I really only just started it up. Hit new game in case it skips a cutscene that I didn't even watch. I am joined by my little dog. His name is Oscar, and he hates me right now because he was laying down all nice and comfy. He is very sweet to me, but is very mean to everybody else. He's my buddy, though. Isn't that right? Hi, buddy. Please excuse him. I know, I woke you up. You wanna come here? You wanna say hi to everybody? You wanna come here? Here, you wanna say hi to everybody? Say hi, Bubbles. Say hi. So if you hear any moving around or, you know, collar tags, that's him. And I'm going to be playing Drowning. I don't know much about this, except it's an indie game, said it was short, so I'm probably going to finish it in the stream. About a man's struggle with depression. And it's Mental Health Awareness Month, so I figured that was fitting. Not to mention, Andrew and I have talked before about our own personal struggles with depression. So I'll probably be opening up a bit more about that during this game. Let's start it up. Year 8. Oh. I was wrong, there's not a cutscene, I'm just straight up playing. I still remember the day we first met. I was in year 8, and you had no friends. While I was alone, you came and sat next to me. Though you never said anything. I hardly recognized you were there. You were quiet, like me. Every time I was alone, you would come and visit. But you wouldn't say anything. Weeks went by. Depression was rough. A week feels like much longer. And you still don't talk to me. So I ignored you. You left me alone. Oh. I don't know what happened there. I meant to look up. Apparently I looked down. It wasn't long after you left until the holidays started. That spelled wrong. sorry. You should be taking this more seriously. When my family decided to go overseas. It was my first time on a plane, so I was kind of nervous. But I eventually overcame my fear. While we were overseas, we mainly did stuff with our family. It was a lot of fun. I didn't think life could get any better. Definitely not worse. As much as I didn't want to, we had to leave. I'm just gonna take a listen, make sure I'm still audible. All good things must come to an end. This camera's being a little weird. We arrived home on the last day of the holidays. Okay, I'll speak up a bit. Life was good. But then school started. And you were there. But you were different. You seemed more confident. But no one liked you. I didn't understand why. You seemed fine to me. So, we became friends. Every day, you opened up a little more. And you started talking to me. We became close. Later that week, I told another friend about you. He warned me that you were dangerous. But I didn't see how. So I ignored what he said. After all, he barely knew you. Soon after that, soon after we became friends, he started telling me strange things. He told me one of my good friends didn't want me as their friend anymore. It made no sense. So I just ignored you, hoping you would leave me alone. But you never did. Depression is a real hard struggle. You kept going. Telling me the same thing over and over again. And you got louder. I started to believe what you were saying. Oh, this all sounds so familiar. I didn't know what to do. I decided the best thing to do was to let you keep going. And pretend I didn't care. It took a while. But you eventually became a voice at the back of my head. But I couldn't forget what you said. It's like your voice was stuck on an endless loop. And I believed every word. You convinced me. That my friend didn't need me. And was better off without me. So I naturally distanced myself from him. Thinking that was my only option. Yeah. Because how do you make someone like you? That truly hates you. Whenever he would start a conversation, I would purposely seem uninterested. So he would talk to somebody else. Somebody he really wants to talk to. It looked like I was being rude. But I was really doing him a favor. I saved him the embarrassment of having to talk to me in front of others. And I saved him the effort of being nice and pretending to care. I might cry during this. And we've only just started. Whoa. That was a sudden stop. Year 9. I was happy for school to start so I could see my friends. You didn't like seeing me like this, so you disappeared. I never really understood why you kept coming and going. But I was glad you were gone. It wasn't until now that I realized I enjoyed life a lot more when you weren't around. So I became scared of you. And I began to hate school. Because I didn't want to be friends with you anymore. But I tried my best not to worry too much. Because I knew you loved seeing me like this. School was great at first. I got to hang out with friends I hadn't seen in a while. And I even spoke to one of the new students. Who soon after became one of my closest friends. But then you came along. And you destroyed the fun I was having. You told me to stop speaking to people who don't like me. Because all I'm doing is more people hate me. I thought the best thing to do was to ignore you. So that's what I did. Not long after, I was walking down the school hallway. And I saw the new guy standing with a group of people. So I said hi. But he ignored me. It's kind of like he was embarrassed to know me. Even though we were good friends. Well, at least I thought we were. That night, when trying to fall asleep, the thought of the new guy kept crossing my mind. I just couldn't figure out what I did. And all you were doing was telling me how you were right all along. And how I should have listened to you. didn't even understand why it was bothering me so much. All I knew is that I was losing sleep over something that probably doesn't even matter. Waking up in the middle of the night became normal. And my friends noticed I looked more tired than I usually did. So they asked if everything was okay. But you said to remember what you told me. And be careful what I say to them. So I told them I was fine. Even though I was far from it. Telling no one about you was hard. I really wanted to. But you wouldn't let me. You'd keep reminding me of how I've already made other people hate me. I didn't know what to do. You wouldn't leave me alone. You knew I was scared of you. And it made you happy. I fought depression for 5 years, and I consider myself lucky that it was that short. But all of this is so accurate. I distanced myself from my friends thinking they hated me, which I later found out they didn't like the person that I was becoming, which I was becoming partially because of the depression. It's a vicious cycle. It was only a matter of time before you would leave me alone. So I tried to learn how to control my emotions. This is all just, hitting me right in the core. I was getting quite good at it. And it seemed to make you angry. That I could feel happiness. Let me tell you before I move on. After you've had depression for long enough, you begin to cling to it, and you fear happiness. And I'm still learning how to be happy. I only recently admitted it. The fact that I have to relearn an emotion breaks my heart. I've been scared of being happy for so long. You begin to fear happiness, and that's why a lot of people end up killing themselves, because they don't want to live how they are, but they're too scared to try and live another way. It's those brave little baby steps we all gotta take. That's what really counts. But once you take those steps, once you let yourself be happy again, there's no other feeling like it. I thought I finally found a way to remove you from my life. And I didn't need to worry about you coming back. I remember distancing myself from my friends, and they proved to me every time that they loved me. Then my parents told me they were getting a divorce. I remember the biggest suicide attempt. I tried to hang myself in the bathroom of the movie theater that I worked at. And I told my friends about it after I was better. And by better, I mean after the manager brought me down and called my dad. Well, actually called my mom, who then called my dad because she was out of town. I told my friends, and within the hour they showed up. Didn't tell me they were coming, just showed up. And took me for a drive. And told me they loved me. That's all we did was talk. I love them, like, closer than brothers. After my parents separated, you kept telling me it was my fault. With no one telling me otherwise, it was hard not to listen to you. Everything always feels like your fault with depression. You said not to tell anyone what happened. You also hide a whole lot of stuff. It gets way too easy. It gets way too damn easy to hide stuff after so long. Because no one wants to hear or know anything about me or my miserable life. So I kept everything to myself. Even though I desperately wanted to tell somebody. When I'd try to sleep, you'd keep reminding me of all the things I could have done to stop this from happening. Since you wouldn't let me sleep, I would distract myself by playing video games. But they weren't as fun as they used to be. They really weren't. They felt more like a task or an assignment rather than a relaxation activity. Before anybody starts worrying, video games are fun for me again, especially when I don't put them on frickin' grounded difficulty like Last of Us. And I can relax with them now. But yeah, video games felt like a chore for a while. Everything felt like a chore. Eating, sleeping, getting up in the morning. It felt like a task that I didn't want to do. It took way more effort than it used to. But it was the only way to feel like life wasn't that bad, just for a moment. Year 11. I'm on a bridge. I found myself getting irritated with everything. I'm so sorry. To my mom especially, but to my family. 'Cause I was so irritable with depression. Like, my mom would just say hi and I'd be like, ugh. And I think subconsciously it was because every interaction was a reminder that I was alive when I didn't want to be. Everybody annoyed me. It was impossible to calm down and relax. But I wasn't angry at everyone. But if I wasn't angry at everyone, I'd feel empty and numb. Yeah. Like a black hole sucking in anything that made me feel emotion. Which is why, that right there, is exactly why you get scared to feel happy. Because you feel like it's just gonna get sucked up from under you. It's a scary place to be. I was wearing a heavy suit of armor. And every movement took a tremendous amount of effort and was completely exhausting. No matter how hard I tried, I was unable to take it off. It was as loud as it was heavy. And I felt like I annoyed anyone who walked past me. It's like I needed to apologize to anyone who dealt with my presence. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many times I apologized and still apologize for stuff that's hardly my fault, because I always feel at fault due to my history with depression. It's a really, really rough road. It was like everyone was annoyed at me, and I was letting everyone down. This game captures it so perfectly. My body felt like I was constantly coming down with the flu. I get headaches and feel nauseous. I never felt nauseous. I'll say that, but I did get headaches quite often, a lot more often than I had used to. Really, I was sick with myself. Sick of myself. I was always in physical discomfort. It also doesn't help that while I already hated myself, I gained 20 or 30 pounds in one summer due to an ex-girlfriend always wanting to get fast food, and so we did. And I still haven't been able to get rid of the gut that brought up. And it's been it's been a year and a half since we broke up. Which means it's been like 2 years since I gained that weight and got that gut. Whether I was at school, out with my family, or at a friend's place, I never felt comfortable. I just wanted to stay in my room all day and stop pretending like everything was alright. I can't tell you how many times I just stayed in my room and cried. And I hated socializing. I would avoid social situations like the plague. Talking to anybody was a big no-no. I never answered my phone or the doorbell, and I declined almost every party invitation. I, at times, would hear family come over, like just for a quick visit or drop something off, and I would just stay in my room because I did not want to interact with anybody. Because every person I avoided was somebody's day not ruined. Yep. That's exactly how it freaking felt. Year 12. I've been noticing that each year the scenery gets darker. And like the last year we were in a fog, and now we're in a very dark place. Dark and scary place. I'm in the middle of a vast ocean. And I can't keep my head above water anymore. I very consistently compared my depression to being underwater and not being able to keep my head above it. There's a song called In Too Deep that would play through my head a lot. I was like, 'cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep up above in my head instead of going under again. And it terrified me because I felt like I was going under. I'm nearly out of breath. No one is going to help me. Here's the thing with depression, you distance yourself from everybody and you don't tell anybody what's happening. And so because of that, you feel alone. Because you are. Because you made yourself alone. Because you pushed the other people away and you didn't tell anybody what was happening. Nobody can help you if they don't know you need help. And if you hide it well enough, then they won't even suspect that you might need help. Every time I swim to the surface and grasp for air, I sink down to the very bottom. Again. And again. And again. I have lost all hope. And I don't know what to do. What are you doing? I am ending everything. Why? Because there's nothing left for me in this world. What about your friends and family? I like this. This is internal dialogue which I have had with myself. Asking myself what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, what about this, what about that? None of it mattered. What about your friends and family? They all hate me in my mind. At the time. Come here, buddy. Come here. Well, you're just gonna lay back down. This guy got me through it. I knew he loved me. He proved that every time I walked in the door, and he'd run to me and he'd cry every time I leave. If you have depression, get a dog. What about the people you love and respect? I'm doing this for them is the thought in my head. See? I'm doing them a favor. No, you're not. It's actual shit that goes on through your head. You're going to hurt them. You're about to put them through a great amount of pain you've never experienced. Is that what you want? Although I didn't fully believe that they would be hurt by it, another big thing was holding on to the hope that they cared about me enough that they would. Shut up! Yeah, I said that to myself a lot. A lot. You don't know what pain is. You're the reason I'm doing this in the first place. You show up out of nowhere. You put thoughts in my head. You tell me things that aren't true. And I can't take it anymore. So I'm doing this for me and no one else. Because I'm tired of being in a place I don't belong. What is that? Hi, buddy. Oh no. Is that the end of the game? No. I'm in a white place. Did I do it? Hi, buddy. I think he thinks that, well, I am, but I think he senses that I'm sad. No. Hey. You've got it all wrong. I also had this voice. I did also have this voice during that time. You did this to me. You drove me to the point of insanity. You're a demon. That's where you're wrong. This whole time, I've been trying to help you. Help you to come to terms with yourself. I came to you because I saw you doubting yourself. And it seemed as though others were doubting you as well. And it hurt me. I didn't want to see you like that anymore. So I tried showing you a different way of viewing the world. And I tried to help you embrace your uniqueness. And show you that there's nothing wrong with being different from everyone else. There's really not. That's another thing I've been learning lately, and that's a reason that Aaron Hansen is one of my biggest role models. Is he's himself, he doesn't apologize for it, and that's what I've started to be. I actually remember a few weeks ago, my stepmom found one of these, like, ask your spouse these questions kind of thing, see how much you know each other, but instead she did it with my dad and with myself, so we would both answer for her, she and I would both answer for my dad, and they would both answer for me, and one of the questions was, what makes you proud of me? And they both agreed that one of the biggest things they're proud of is that I'm me. I don't change myself to be like everybody else. I am my own person, and I don't apologize for that. And hearing that, fresh out of depression, like, that was before I even admitted that I was happy again. That felt really damn good. But no matter how much I told you, you wouldn't listen. You let the thoughts of yourself and others get to you. That's the thing too. It takes a long time to learn, But once you learn that it doesn't matter what other people think of you, life is going to get a whole lot easier. There's this guy I follow on TikTok. The TikTok account is Gary V. I don't remember what his actual last name is, but he's like this motivational speaker, and he was at, I don't know what you would call it, but speaking, and he went up to this kid and he said, "Do you think I'm awesome?" And the kid said, "Fuck yeah." And then the kid said, "Do you think I'm awesome?" And Gary said, "Fuck no." And then looked the kid in the eye and said, "Look at me. I don't know a single thing about you. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know where you're going right now. I don't know what place you're in right now. So what the fuck right do I have to say whether or not you're cool? Or to say that I like you? 90% of the people that you think hate you, or that even that say hate you, they don't know what you're going through. They don't know you. Definitely not well enough to have an opinion. So why should their fake opinion matter?" And you confuse those thoughts with me. The only opinions that matter are those of the people who actually know you, as well as your own. I didn't know what to do. I really wanted to tell someone, but I didn't want anyone to think differently of me. So many times I wanted to speak up about what I was feeling. Yeah, I did. But the reason I didn't was because I figured they would think less of me. They would stop liking me even more than I already thought they did. Dislike me more than I already thought they did. That I'd become a burden. And they'd all say the same thing anyway. They would say I need to get help, when in reality me telling is me trying to get help. They would say that because they care about you. And they don't know what great amount of pain you're dealing with. I didn't know what to do. I thought the best thing to do for me and everyone else was to end everything. And that just resulted in hurting the people that love you. I only wanted to know what it felt like to feel again. That numbness, that loss of feeling, that really hits you hard. When you can't remember what it's like to feel, what it's like to be happy, and to be loved, to feel loved, to like genuinely feel loved, then go back. Seek help. And learn how to love again. Just like you used to. What is this? A portal? so that's the end of the game. What was that, like an hour? Apparently. Definitely didn't feel like an hour. So yeah, that's Drowning. Gosh, I was not expecting it to be that accurate. But that really is the thought process in your mind, or at least in my mind, as well as minds of other people I've known to have depression. Obviously, I can't speak for everybody, everybody's different. But that's a lot like what it is. And I implore you to seek help, even if that just means going to a friend and telling them about your day. And be honest. Be completely honest. Wow, that was an experience. I'm speechless after that. I'm truly speechless. Just know that no matter how dark and endless the tunnel seems, there's a light at the end. A light and end that doesn't result in you killing yourself. You can make it through this. You can reach the end and be happy. I was so hopeless for so long. Oscar, you're on my light. Sorry, I have to have some humor right now. But I was so hopeless for so long. And at 20 years old, and I'm sure as I get older it'll feel even less so, 5 years doesn't feel like that long, but let me tell you, a day felt like a week. A week felt like a month felt like a year. 5 years in depression felt like a lifetime. And it felt like that should have been the end of my life. But I'm very glad that it wasn't. And I hope, if you're going through hard times, that it's not the end of your life. And I know times are very tough right now. Everybody's in quarantine, a lot of people are getting sick, a lot of people are dying over this, but we can and will get through it. I know so. It's not just hope. Okay, it's a lot of hope. But I know that we can get through this. And I know that you can get through this. As hopeless as it seems, every single shred of hope that you can gather counts. Every single shred of hope is another step closer to being happy. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed and were educated. Keep yourself safe. Have a happy morning, night, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. Your future is unwritten. So instead of cutting it short, how about you make it a good one? And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. For now. I love you all.